Take full responsibility. Stop blaming others. Own your future. That's the foundation of everything you will ever build. The moment you decide to stop pointing fingers and start pointing at yourself, that's the moment your life begins to change. See, too many people are living in the shadow of excuses. They say, if I had better parents, if I had more money, if I had more support. But let me tell you something. There are people who came from nothing. People who didn't have a mother, didn't have a father, didn't have a dime to their name, and they still made it happen. You know why? Because they took responsibility for their own story. They didn't wait for life to get easy. They didn't wait for the perfect situation. They said, oh, no more blaming, no more excuses. From now on, I own everything that happens to me. When you start taking responsibility, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the architect of your destiny. It doesn't mean everything that happened to you was your fault, but it does mean that fixing it is your responsibility. Life doesn't owe you an explanation. Life doesn't care about your excuses. Life responds to effort, to persistence, to ownership. Every time you point a finger at someone else, remember that 3 fingers are pointing back at you. You can't grow while you're blaming. You can't build while you're complaining. The energy you waste on excuses is the energy you could have spent making progress. Taking responsibility means facing yourself in the mirror and being honest. It means saying, I'm not where I want to be because of me. That's a hard truth to swallow, but it's also the truth to swallow. But it's also the truth that sets you free. The day you accept that your life is a reflection of your choices is the day you take control. You can't change what you won't own. You can't fix what you won't face. The power is in your hands, but only if you claim it. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's freedom. It's freedom. It's the realization that you don't need anyone's permission to succeed. You have the power to decide, to change, to grow. The people who win in life aren't the ones with perfect conditions. They're the ones who say, oh, no matter what, I'll find a way. They stop waiting for someone else to rescue them. They stop hoping someone will come fix their problems. They understand that nobody's coming. Nobody's going to hand them a better life. So they build it themselves, piece by piece, day by day. They take responsibility for their attitude, their effort, their habits, and their mindset. They don't wait for motivation. They create it. They don't rely on luck. They rely on discipline. You can't build a strong life on weak excuses. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves to feel better about not doing what we need to do. They're comfort zones disguised as logic. I can't do it because I'm tired. I can't start because I don't have the money. I can't try because I might fail. Every one of those thoughts is stealing your potential. Taking responsibility means replacing I can with I will. It means refusing to surrender your power to your fears. It means showing up every single day and saying it may not control everything, but I control how I respond. That's what separates the successful from the average. Their response. Look around you. Every person who made something great of their life had a moment when they decided to stop blaming others. They decided to be accountable. When things went wrong, they looked inward, not outward. They learned from their mistakes instead of running from them. Responsibility turns pain into progress. It turns mistakes into lessons. It turns weakness into strength. When you take responsibility, you don't lose, you learn. Every failure becomes feedback. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to get stronger. Sometimes people say, oh, but E.T., you don't know what I've been through. And you're right. Maybe I don't. But I know what happens when you let your past control your future. You stay stuck. You live in cycles of regret and disappointment. But when you take ownership, when you say, oh, this is my life, and I will make it better, everything changes. You start seeing possibilities instead of problems. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop surviving and start thriving. You realize that even though you can't change your past, you can rewrite your future. Taking responsibility means doing what needs to be done, even when nobody's watching. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's keeping promises to yourself. It's admitting when you're wrong and doing better next time. It's about integrity, doing the right thing, not the easy thing. Because responsibility isn't about perfection, it's about progression. It's about striving to be better today than you were yesterday. When you truly take responsibility, you stop living in excuses and start living in execution. You wake up earlier. You study harder. You push further. Work for it, don't wish for it. Everybody wants success, but not everybody is willing to work for it. People talk about what they want. The car, the houses, the freedom, the respect. But talk doesn't build dreams. Wishing doesn't change your life. You can sit there every night and dream about a better future, but until you get up and start grinding for it, it will never be yours. You can't pray for success and then sleep in. You can't say you want to be great and then quit when things get hard. You've got to put in the hours, the sweat, the sacrifice. You got to be willing to outwork the old version of you every single day. There's a gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap is filled with effort. That gap is filled with discipline. That gap is filled with the things most people don't want to do. See, wishing is easy because it doesn't cost anything. You can wish from your bed, wish from your couch, while scrolling through your phone. But real work costs something. It costs your comfort, your sleep, your excuses. It demands consistency even when you don't see results. Most people quit because they confuse slow progress with failure. They think if it doesn't happen fast, it's not meant to be. But success isn't a microwave meal. It's a slow cook process. It takes patience, persistence, and pain. When you work for something, you earn it. And when you earn it, you respect it. That's why the people who grind the hardest value their success the most. They know what it cost them. They remember the nights they stayed up studying, the mornings they got up before the sun, the weekends they sacrificed when everyone else was partying. When you work for it, you don't take it for granted. You protect it. You nurture it. You keep building because you know how hard it was to get there. The problem with wishing is that it gives you a false sense of movement. You feel good talking about your dreams. You feel motivated for a moment. But when the emotion fades, there's nothing left. No. Wishing gives you hope. Working gives you result. The only way to turn your dreams into reality is through relentless effort. You've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You've got to push yourself past average. When you're tired, you keep going. When it's painful, you keep pushing. When you don't see progress, you trust the process. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Some people look at successful individuals and think they got lucky. They don't see the hours behind the scenes, the sacrifices, the failures, the grind that nobody clapped for. They don't see the lonely nights or the tears that came before the triumph. They just see the highlight reel. But every person who's ever achieved greatness has one thing in common. They worked for it. They didn't wish for it. They put in the work when nobody was watching. No, they worked when it wasn't convenient, when it wasn't easy, when nobody believed in them. The grind is what builds you. It's not just about the goal. It's about the process that molds you into the kind of person who can handle success. If success were easy, everyone would have it. But it's not. It takes resilience. It takes discipline. It takes saying a no to distractions and yeah to your purpose. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're proving to yourself that you're serious about your dream. Every time you push through the fatigue, you're earning respect from the future version of you who will one day look back and say, I'm glad I didn't quit. People say they want it bad, but when the alarm clock goes off, they hit snooze. They say they want to be successful, but they're not willing to make the sacrifices success requires. You can't have both comfort and greatness. You've got to choose one. And the truth is, the ones who really make it aren't the most talented. They're the most consistent. Talent will get you noticed, but hard work will keep you there. Can't skip the grind. You can't fast forward success. Every shortcut will eventually lead you back to the start. When you work for it, you begin to appreciate growth, not just results. You learn to love the process. You learn patience, humility, and gratitude. You start to understand that the struggle isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every obstacle is shaping you into the person capable of handling the blessing you're chasing. Success is earned through discipline, not desire. It's not about what you say you want. It's about what you're willing to do every single day to get there. Wishing keeps you stuck in fantasy. Working moves you into reality. You can't think your way into success. You have to act your way into it. You have to back your dreams with daily effort. You have to replace I hope with you have to replace. You have to replace a someday with that today. The world doesn't reward dreamers. Start where you are. That's it. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity. They don't exist. Perfection is an illusion that kills more dreams than failure ever could. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're not supposed to know every step of the journey. You just need to take the first one. Too many people are sitting on their dreams because they think they're not ready, not qualified, not connected enough. But readiness doesn't come before action. It comes through action. You become ready by starting, by learning, by failing, by adjusting. You can't grow if you never begin. Some people spend their whole lives waiting. They say, oh, when I get more money, I'll start my business. When I have more time, I'll chase my dream. When I feel confident, I'll take the leap. Nah, I'll take the leap. But that day never comes. There will always be something missing, something imperfect. The truth is, you will never have all the pieces. The people who make it aren't the ones who wait until everything's perfect. They're the ones who start with what they have and make it work. They use their limited resources to build momentum. They figure it out along the way. You might not have the best equipment, the best support, or the best circumstances, but you have something. You have something. You have your mind, your effort, your time, and your determination. That's enough to begin. Every successful person you admire once started small, started scared, started uncertain. But they started. The difference between dreamers and achievers is that achievers take action in spite of fear. They don't let not enough stop them. They don't know. They understand that progress beats perfection every single time. The hardest part of any journey is the beginning. It's uncomfortable because it exposes your weaknesses. It's frustrating because you won't see results right away. But that's where growth happens. When you start where you are, you're building strength, resilience, and discipline. You're proving to yourself that you're serious. You're sending a message to the universe, to your future self, that you're done waiting. You're ready to move. You don't need to have 100 steps planned out. You just need to take one. Once you move, life starts responding. Opportunities start showing up because you're in motion. Too many people want to jump straight to the finish line without running the race. They want the reward without the risk. But life doesn't work that way. You have to start messy, you have to start scared. You have to start uncertain. But most importantly, you have to start. You don't learn from standing still, you learn from moving. You'll make mistakes, yes, but mistakes are the tuition you pay for growth. Every failure teaches you something you couldn't have learned by waiting. When you start where you are, you take control of your destiny. You stop letting excuses run your life. You stop saying, I'll start when things get better, and start saying, I'll make things better by starting. You'll make things better by starting. That shift in mindset changes everything. Because once you stop waiting for perfect conditions, you realize you already have what you need to begin. You have potential. You have time. You have time. Even if it's just a few minutes a day. You have the ability to learn. You have access to information, tools, to opportunities, if you're willing to look for them and use them. The truth is, the first version of anything you do will not be perfect. Your first video, your first business plan, your first song, your first speech, it'll probably be rough. But that's okay. It's supposed to be. Excellence is born from experience, and experience comes from starting. The first attempt doesn't define you, it develops you. Every great artist, athlete, or entrepreneur began with something imperfect and he's something imperfect. What made them great wasn't that they were flawless. It was that they refused to stop improving. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. The right time is a myth. The right time is when you decide that your dreams matter more than your excuses. Action creates clarity. You can plan all you want, but you'll never know everything until you step out and do it. And once you do, you'll start to see new opportunities, new lessons, and new strength within yourself that you never knew existed. When you start where you are, you also build credibility with yourself. Every time you take action, you're showing yourself that your word means something. You said you do it, and you did. That builds self-trust, and self-trust builds confidence. Confidence doesn't come from wishing or waiting. It comes from doing. Even small steps matter. Don't underestimate the power of a single decision, a single action, a single day of effort. Little by little, those steps add up. One day you'll look back and realize that what once felt impossible is now your reality, all because you started where you were. Match your grind to your goals. Everybody talks about what they want. The dream car, the big house, the financial freedom, the legacy. But very few people are willing to put in the kind of work that those goals demand. You can't expect championship results with a casual effort. You can't say you want success and still live like it's optional. Your grind has to be equal to or greater than your goals. Because dreams without discipline are just fantasies. They sound good, they feel good, but they don't change anything until you back them up with consistent effort. Too many people are overestimating what they can get with a wish and underestimating what it takes to earn it. They think saying I want it is enough, but the world doesn't care about what you want. It responds to what you're willing to do. You can't have millionaire dreams with a minimum wage work ethic. You can't talk about being great while putting in average effort. Success doesn't come to those who say they want it the most. It comes to those who work for it the hardest. If your dreams are big, your habits can't be small. You gotta be relentless. You gotta be consistent. You gotta be hungry even when it hurts. Matching your grind to your goals means you measure your actions against your ambition. If you say you wanna be the best, then every day needs to reflect that. You can't want greatness and sleep like everyone else. You can't wanna lead and train like you're still learning. The people who win are those whose daily grind mirrors their desired outcome. They don't just dream at night. They execute during the day. They sacrifice comfort for commitment. They choose discipline over distraction. Every decision they make aligns with where they're trying to go. It's easy to say you want success when everything is convenient. But what about when it's not? What about when it's cold outside, when you're tired, when nobody's clapping for you, when you failed 5 times already? That's where your grind is tested. Because your goals don't care about how you feel. They care about what you do. The people who reach their goals are the ones who show up when it's hardest. They work through pain, through doubt, through disappointment. They understand that consistency beats motivation every time. You might not always feel inspired, but you can always choose to be disciplined. You've got to align your behavior with your vision. If your dream is massive, your effort has to be massive too. You can't live like it's okay to coast through life and then expect to wake up in success. Every ounce of progress demands a price. Every goal demands focus, energy, and sacrifice. You can't grind one day and disappear for a week. You can't want big results with small habits. Success is built daily, not occasionally. Every rep, every hour, every decision compounds into something powerful or something wasted. The choice is yours. The truth is, your goals will expose your work ethic. You can talk about wanting to be successful, but your actions reveal the truth. If you're not putting in the hours, if you're not studying your craft, if you're not showing up consistently, you're lying to yourself. The grind doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't reward intentions, it rewards execution. You can't cheat the grind, you can't fake effort. It always shows. The person who outworks you will eventually outperform you. That's why matching your grind to your goals isn't just about ambition, it's about integrity. It's about keeping your promises to yourself. When your grind matches your goals, you start attracting results. You start noticing progress. You start building momentum. You don't have to chase opportunities. They start finding you. Because the universe respects effort. It rewards the discipline. It recognizes the ones who refuse to quit. Every day you show up, every day you give your all, you're building credibility with your future. You're proving that you can handle the blessing you're asking for. Because if you can't handle the work, you can't handle the reward. Matching your grind to your goals also means being strategic. It's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter. You've got to have a plan. You've got to know what actions actually move you closer to your dream. Too many people are busy, but not productive. They confuse motion with progress. Grinding doesn't mean doing everything. It means doing the right things consistently. Every minute you waste on distractions is a minute you could have spent building your future. Focus is part of the grind. Discipline is part of the grind. Saying no to what doesn't serve your goals is part of the grind. There will be days when it feels like the work isn't paying, like the work isn't paying off. You'll question whether it's worth it. You'll see people who seem to be moving faster than you, and you'll be tempted to slow down or give up. Stay consistent and hungry. That's the key to everything. Most people start strong but finish weak. They get excited in the beginning, full of energy, full of dreams, full of motivation. But when the excitement fades, so does their effort. That's why consistency separates the winners from the talkers. Anybody can work hard for a day, a week, or even a month, but the great ones show up every single day, even when they don't feel like it. Success isn't about how fast you move. It's about how long you can keep moving. It's about showing up again and again, putting in the work even when you don't see immediate results, trusting the process even when it's slow, and staying hungry no matter how much progress you've already made. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results. You can't build anything lasting without it. The gym doesn't reward you for one great workout. It rewards you for showing up over and over again. The business world doesn't reward you for one good idea. It rewards you for years of effort, adaptation, and discipline. Life doesn't give success to the most talented or the luckiest. It gives it to those who stay committed long after the motivation fades. Motivation gets started, but consistency keeps you going. You gotta turn discipline into a habit. You gotta turn discipline into a habit. You gotta make hard work your default setting. Staying hungry means never settling. It means even when you reach one level of success, you don't get comfortable. You don't relax. You don't stop. You remind yourself there's always another level, another goal, another challenge to chase. The moment you get comfortable, you start declining. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Hunger keeps you alive. Hunger keeps you focused. It keeps you sharp, driven, and alert. When you stay hungry, you don't take success for granted because you know how hard it was to get there. You remember the pain, the sacrifice, the grind, and that memory keeps your fire burning. Consistency and hunger go hand in hand. One keeps you grounded, the other keeps you growing. Consistency makes sure you show up. Hunger makes sure you level up. When you combine the two, you become unstoppable. You don't depend on feeling. You depend on purpose. You stop looking for inspiration and start creating it. You don't wait for opportunities. You create them through repetition, effort, and patience. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. Because over time, consistent small actions build massive results. Most people underestimate the power of small daily effort. They want instant results, instant fame, instant reward. But life doesn't work that way. The seed you plant today won't bear fruit tomorrow. You have to water it every day. You have to protect it from storms. You have to nurture it even when you can't see what's happening beneath the surface. That's consistency, that's faith. In action, you keep showing up even when progress is invisible. You keep grinding even when the results are delayed. Because you understand that every bit of effort counts and that consistency compounds. What feels small today becomes powerful over time. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when you're tired, discouraged, or unsure. That's when consistency matters most. Anybody can be disciplined when things are easy, but true consistency is proven in the tough moments. It's waking up early when you want to sleep in. It's studying when you rather relax. It's putting in extra work when no one's watching. Those are the moments that define your future. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're building strength. Every time you keep pushing when you can quit, you're separating yourself from the crowd. Staying hungry also means staying humble. Never let success make you complacent. Never let progress make you think the journey is over. The people who keep growing are the ones who keep learning. They treat every day like a chance to improve, to sharpen their skills, to become a better version of themselves. Hunger isn't just about wanting more, it's about wanting to be more. It's about wanting to be more. It's about constant evolution. When you're hungry, you don't just chase external success. You chase personal excellence. You chase growth. You chase mastery. There's a saying that goes, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But let me add this. Consistency beats both. You can be talented and motivated, but if you're not consistent, you'll never reach your full potential. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do repeatedly. It's the habits you build, the routines you maintain, the daily decisions you make when no one's clapping for you. Consistency is about commitment. And commitment means doing it even when it's boring, even when it's repetitive, even when it feels like nothing's happening. Think about the greats, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders.